Peace, what's good? Welcome. This is going to be a training on home inspection report writing, how to write a good report in 1 hour, right? Time management is everything. As an inspector, trying to get in our inspections as well as complete the reports in a timely fashion um, for our customers and for our realtor clients. So I just want to talk through um, a couple of things as it relates to the report, and then give you um, a couple of tips on how you can write that report in 1 year. Do me a favor. I need everybody to go to streamyard.com/Facebook so that I can see your name in the comments. StreamYard.com/Facebook. You should see it somewhere in the comment section where you're looking. Go there and click on whatever so that I can see your name and address you as you comment. Jason, I have you, so thank you for taking care of that. Peace. I'm excited to share with you too, cuz go to that link so that I can see your name as you comment. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're not gonna be long tonight. Number one, um, again, you may not have considered this because we talk so much about the actual inspection itself, but the as a home inspector, the home inspection is the service that you provide. And from that service, your report is the corresponding product, right? So you go, you complete the home inspection, and that's the service that they paid you for, that you complete. And in addition to that, again, your product that you provide to your customers is that inspection report. And so it is a very critical part of your success as a home inspector for a couple of different reasons. You have no clue where that whose hands that inspection report could end up in. Now with the real estate industry, everything is so timely. So you got to be able to get a great report back to your customer uh very quickly in a in an efficient amount of time. The um the the customer has to be able to read and interpret the report, and not be scared by it. So there are a number of different reasons why your product or this inspection report is so important. And so I don't want you to I see this a lot in, gotta forgive me, in non-regulated states. The reports are piss poor. The reports aren't good. And that's because there are no regulations. So there's nobody really mandating that you do it any kind of way. In a lot of regulated states, well, not a lot, I think a few. I think Texas and I believe New York, and if I'm not mistaken, North Carolina actually have a report template that I don't know if they mandated or recommend, suggest, or require their inspectors to use. So obviously, in regulated states, typically you find better reports, typically find better inspections overall. But that's another conversation for another day. So your report needs to be clear and concise. Clear and concise. So this is not like an essay, right? So we're not back in school writing a book report. This is not about length so much. This is another example of quality over quantity. Okay, so it's not, you're not likely going to be writing blocks and blocks and paragraphs. Typically, what we use in home inspection reports are what are called narrative comments, which are basically just short summaries, of what it is you're trying to convey. So that's typically what your report will be compiled of. And that's why, and a lot of it, for most inspectors, is done as you're doing the inspection. Everybody has a different flow, if you will. But it is my recommendation to you. I have a technique called roughing in the report, um, which is basically filling in all of the major stuff as you're actually going through your inspection. Because I can tell you, starting off, I didn't do it like that, and I thought I was going to just take all my pictures and then go home and sit and write the report. And sure as the day is long, by the time I got home, I could not remember what was going on in that house. I'm looking at the picture like, what? Like, So ever since then I was like, and part of that was because I was feeling rushed, and so it's important not to feel rushed. You've already gotten paid, like do a great inspection. The better the inspection you do, the more you will learn, which just translates into the more that you will earn. So you don't have to feel like you're in a rush. Take your time as you move through the house, document properly with your pictures, and again, rough in your report. It is very, very helpful to have what I call a narrative library, basically a bank uh library, if you will, of comments that are already set up for you, so that, and we'll talk about this in a minute, I'll show you the report writing software that I use. It becomes very easy when you have those comments already stored in your template, and you can kind of like just drag and drop and pick and choose which one you need, because a lot of the defects that you'll be calling out will be very repetitive. You'll see them in house after house. So if you already have it built in, it's just boop. If I see moisture intrusion in the basement wall, press a button, take a picture, and I'm good to go. So again, clear and concise narrative comments, and you want to put together, you can even buy, I think some people sell their narrative comments. I created one from different ones that I've gotten, different ones that I've seen from my inspector flow students, again, just so that you can kill the time and the overthinking about what to write, and you're just copying and pasting. With your report, you want to with your inspection, your report, your whole interaction with your customer who's looking to buy that house, you want to keep in mind that your goal and the priority is really to educate them, right? Because this is the largest likely transaction of their life, and it's the transaction that most people make not having a clue about it. Most people that buy houses don't have a clue about real estate. You know what I mean, and what it really means when they say buy right and you make your money on the buy. Most people, they're looking at their purchase through a cosmetic lens. Do I like this? Do I like that? Do I like the neighborhood? Is it this pain? And so your our role, I would argue, is the most important in the entire transaction. Agent, they ain't worth their weight in gold. A mortgage broker, I mean, there was anybody could finance the loan. The appraiser, all they're doing is pulling comps, which is what the realtor did. We're the only person that's a part of the transaction who's really qualified to talk about the most important parts of the transaction, the asset. Like nobody else can talk about the all of the major systems and components of the house um like us. So our job, in terms of, again, educating clients, is very important. You don't have a dog in the fight. Whether they buy the house or whether they don't buy the house, it should be of no consequence to you. So you should not get into trying to persuade or dissuade people about whether or not they should buy it, whether it's a terrible house and you know they shouldn't buy it, or whether it's the best house and they're scared to buy it. That's not your business, and you shouldn't get into any recommendations. You should be speaking straight facts, based upon the service that you provided, the inspection, and then that's what you're going to include in your report. And so what I like to do is at the end of my inspection, if the buyer is on site, I don't let people follow me around. Like I don't do that. That may work for you in your business, but it don't work for me in mine. I don't let people follow me around. So I tell them that I explain to them that I'm gonna need about 2.5 hours. Once I get done, I'll come and talk to you and let you know. We can kind of walk and talk, and I can show you some of the major concerns that I had, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail in the report, and I'll have that to you in the next 24 hours or whatever the case may be. So once I get done with the inspection, I'll do just that. If there's something that I need to show them, again, we'll walk and talk, and I can kind of explain right there on site, so that once they get the report, again, it's just kind of like putting everything in perspective, going into detail, and really just documenting it for the record. So I think that part is a part of whenever you're dealing in business, setting the proper expectations. If it's going to be a shit show, tell me it's going to be a shit show up front. And then at least I could kind of prepare, for the shit show. So it's the same thing when you're doing the inspection. And your goal again is not to scare people and not to frighten them. It's just to simply convey the facts. If they had a single family house and they had a 70 amp service or whatever, for whatever reason, it's like, and they're super excited about the house. They love how it looks and all of that. It's like you have to be okay with verbally letting them know, hey, listen, this house doesn't have enough service. You're going to have to upgrade that service. And then again, indicating that in your report. It's simply just education. I also have like built in, I got a couple of links to a couple of videos explaining stuff. I have a couple articles that are again like in my flashing section where I talk about roof flashing. I have a video where people can click and link to and watch and read more. I mean, listen more about flashing if that's something, because most people again, they don't know what flashing is. But if they're missing it and I have to mark that as a defect in my report, then I'm now trying to educate them and show them why I mark this as, needing to be repaired, because flashing is a huge issue in terms of compromising your roof. So again, just educating. You're the professional. You're and I be feeling like like I say, I'm the most qualified. At the it's like I'm the most important person here. What y'all are talking about? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the inspectors play a very important part, because most people don't have the knowledge and the information that we have as it relates to the major systems and components of the house. Okay. So what questions do you have before I go on? That was a lot. What questions do you have? Make sure you go to streamyard.com/Facebook so I can see your name when you comment. What questions do you have? Had you ever thought of the report being your product? Did you realize that you needed to do a report? Did you even realize that was a part of it? I wish I could see these things without you guys doing it, and it makes it be a huge delay. No questions? Okay, cool. I'll keep it pushing then if no questions. Um, the next thing, and I'm going to show you a few examples, pictures and videos, right? So again, I'll get to in a minute the report writing software. The way that we submit our reports to our um, customer is we basically send them a digital copy, where meaning they get an email where they can click a link and watch the digital copy, which will allow them to click the links. When I want to talk about videos, they can click the different links and see the videos and link to different sites and articles and things like that. And that's also how they would be able to see any actual video clips that you include in your report. That's how they would be able to see that as well. Pictures and videos are so important. It's really the foundation of a great report. And I think people think it's simple. And again, a lot of times in the report, it shows up and it looks simple, but I don't like simple things. I like to do everything like with a certain standard. And so taking great pictures, number one, having good equipment, whether you're using a phone or another camera. I got like three different cameras I use. So this is one of them. It's a dive camera. What is this? A Fuji film dive camera. I got this camera that I use that's on my pole. Um, I have my phone, my iPad. So having good equipment, and then also paying attention to the picture and to the different angles and to the different points of view, because um, I know what I when starting out, what I used to always do is I would take the picture and it's like I would have all these different pictures and I think I'm good. Like I took 10 pictures of the water heater, I'm good. And then I would get home and I would be like, dang, I only got half of the water heater. The picture didn't include the whole water heater, or I got too much of a glare here, or that's just a bad angle or a bad perspective. And I was like, dang, out of 10 pictures, I really only have three that I can use. Right. And so I had to start paying attention And sometimes even going back and looking and making sure, okay, this looks how I want it to look so that I can convey what I'm trying to convey in my report. Another big thing that I teach my students is point of view, right? So we're telling a story with the report. The insurance person, a mortgage person, whoever could get a hold of this report, and those people would have never been to this house before, so they're relying on our report to paint the picture of, what again the status um of the major systems and components are. So I feel like, again, let's show them, and let's not, just slap some pictures together, because we can, but let's actually, again, think about really painting that picture. So let me show you. I'm going to share this. All right, so this is obviously a picture of the roof. So this is what I mean by kind of like points of view and perspective. So in the roof section in my report, I inspect the roof with a drone. I don't walk roofs at all, flat or nothing. I don't walk roofs. So my first picture of the roof I will go all the way over top of it and take a shot, and I'll get the whole roof, every slope, everything from up top. So that's my very first picture. So that's your first look of the roof. You get to see everything. And then I'll come and I'll do the same thing. If you On a gable roof, we got two slopes, right? So there's a slope on this side and there's a slope on the other. So I'll get you the full picture of each slope so you can see that. And then what I always do is I always come and zoom in so you can get perspective of the material, because in my report I'm going to notate that this is asphalt shingle, and when I have this picture, it's easily confirmed this is in fact asphalt shingle. So you see, those are three different pictures of the roof that I gave, but they all are from a different angle or different perspective or point of view, again, in painting that picture for somebody who, what if somebody's looking at this and they're from New Mexico and they're only used to tile roofs? It's like we're really painting a picture of what's going on. Also, when it comes to the roof penetration, such as chimneys and vents and different things like that, it's important to get up close here so that you can see, excuse me, the flashing. That's, and for me, when things are protruding from the roof, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the flashing, because I know if the flashing is not there, if it's deteriorated, not installed properly, then once I go inside, I'm probably going to see leaks. If not now, at some point. So I'm always on the lookout for flashing. So again, here I'll take this picture, I'll come on this side, I'll take this picture, I'll come up high, and I'll take this picture. So then I'll have, again, like three shots of the flashing. I'll do the same thing for the chimney. You cannot have too many pictures. You may not include all of them in the report, but as an inspector, there's no such thing as having too many pictures. This is another picture of a roof where the same thing. So this focal point I'm trying to get here, this exposed fascia, this is what I'm notating. So again, in my report, when I'm in my trim section, under my roofing, and I'm talking about my fascia, my soffits, and all of that kind of stuff, this is where I will include this defect, and I will have this shot, and I may come again from another angle to show uh, the same thing. Let me pull up one more. Oops, I closed that. Let me reshare. If you haven't already, go to streamyard.com/Facebook so that I can see your name when you comment. Okay, so this is another one. This is a porch on that same house. So again, when I notate my defects about the material, I mean about the gutter here, this is, again, it's a no-brainer. I always encourage my students to say what you see and then show what you see. So in our report, we're only reporting on what we see. That's it. I saw it, so I said it in my report, and I showed it with a picture. Can't go wrong with that formula. See what else we got. Here's another shot, again, super up close so you can see. I mean, look at this. Like, again, if you're trying to explain to your client about the importance of the roof, and its whole job is to protect the house from water. And so when there's flashing improperly installed, shingles that are missing or deteriorated, buckling, all of these blend to moisture intrusion, in your roof. Chimneys missing mortar here. I mean, it's just a lot going on. And again, you'll be able to show it, like, live and in living color. So those are just a couple of shots from some inspections, just to show you again how important pictures and videos are. Like I said, you can never have too many. You may not include them all in your report, but you will keep them in your files. Pictures also, from a security, like CYA type of perspective. If anybody says, I left for, a jar of pennies there, and now my jar of pennies is not. It's like, I got 500 pictures of this house that are time stamped, and at the time that you said that I could have potentially took your jar of pennies, here's a picture with the jar of pennies right there. So you can never have, too many pictures and or videos. So let's see what questions we got. No, they're taking their time. Yep, it's my pleasure, Jason. Is 24 hours the minimum amount of time we should give to submit the report? I'll be honest with you, like in the hot markets, realtors were pressing for that stuff like by close of business, and that's why again it's so important to rough that report in. Once you leave the inspection, again, it should only take you another hour max to complete and publish your report. 24 hours is typically cool. It will depend on the realtor. Some of those realtors who are, they got a lot of deals and stuff going on, like, they don't play that. Some of them say 8 hours, so it'll just depend on the realtor that you're working with. But the as efficient while maintaining the quality as you could possibly be, the better that you will be. Some submit as soon as they're done with the inspection, and taking more time would be ideal. Yeah, roofing usually fails and leaks due to poor flashing rather than roofing shingles. True that. Another good tip is coming from a frequently moving. Yeah, you got to know what building material is being used in your specific area. Do you recommend buying a narrative library? I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. Like, if it were me, I would want to like start creating my own first, and then like see if I were to want to add. But if you feel like that's what's going to hold you up, then I guess, yeah, go ahead and buy it. Section 8 inspector is totally different than what we're talking about this evening. We're talking about a home inspector. Easier to write your report using an iPad on your phone or laptop. So I have all of them with me, right? So I typically have my laptop as a crossbody, and I got my Apple Pen, which is very convenient. There are some things I do with my phone, and then once I get into the car, like if I feel like it, I'll pull my laptop out and start typing on there. It just kind of depends on, again, what your flow is and what you're most comfortable with. There are some people who they don't bring all of that. They just have their phone and they do everything from their phone, and that's cool. It's just like I don't always feel like standing there pecking on my phone. And sometimes my phone, the well, not sometimes, but the phone has, I got an iPad Pro, but the phone still has better picture quality. So if there's certain shots, I'll take it with my phone, and then other shots I'll take with this, which is 4K and all that kind of stuff. So in terms of actually writing the report, like while you're on site at the inspection, in my opinion, the iPad is best to like put your report together right there on site. But I would, if I was you, I would get into the habit, and this is why scheduling is important. We'll have to do a training on scheduling, because it's like if you have an inspection at say 10 o'clock, say you got a 10 and a 2 slot, or a 10 and a 3 slot. You start your inspection at 10, by 12 you're done. I would sit at that house, for probably the next 30 minutes in the car, like really finishing up, tidying up my report. That way, if there's anything I forgot or whatever, I'm still there. I could jump out, grab it right quick. And then by the time I leave that house, I'm pretty much so done with that report. When I get home, I'm going to open it up and look at it on my computer for spelling errors, grammatical errors, things like that. And if there are any additional pictures, labeling, captions, small things like that that I'm doing just to like kind of finish her up, and then I'm able to go ahead uh, and hit submit. So that's my part. That's my flow. Do you recommend using a GoPro to film the inspection that way if you miss something? Yeah, a lot of people are going to body cams now. I don't have one um as of now, but yeah, I don't you can't go wrong with that either. Um Using new tech to our advantage. Absolutely. When it rains, what do you use to take pictures of the roof? I use my pole, and I have this the dive camera is waterproof. So if there's any inclement weather, we get snow here, raining, I can attach this to the pole, to my Doka pole, and I could take pictures of the roof that way. If you start on your iPad, the Spectora, yes, the Spectora does sync. That's why Spectora is Bay. All right, let me open it up since y'all are gonna ask questions about that. Okay, so listen, I need you to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and click whatever you need to click so I can see your name. If you don't, I'm not going to recognize your question. Okay, because I like to see who I'm talking to. It's already like I'm on camera, y'all. Like at least I want to know your name and know who I'm talking to. Okay, so click the link so I can see your name, and recognize your question. All right, let's get into Spectora. So Spectora is the report writing software that I use and that I train my students on. It is the best in the business. I've tried a lot of them, and it is hands down the best for a number of different reasons, especially starting out, right? So starting out, Spectora is literally all you could ever need for your scheduling. So a place where people can schedule inspections with you, notifications in terms of email correspondence back to them from your company, all your pre-inspection paperwork, your payments. It will accept payment for you. You build your report right in Spectora, press a button and it publishes it. So Spectora, hands down, is Bay. A lot of these report writing, they're all pretty much so similar. Some of them just have certain integrations, certain tweaks. Who is that? Chad. Chad. That syncing is a big deal, right? Because to his point, you could start the inspection, do whatever you're gonna do while you're out in the field on the iPad, and then when you come home to sit down at the desktop, everything will populate for you. So that's a huge thing. They give you, I believe it is uh five test inspections. So ideally, if you would just say you start out and you're charging 300, 400, just say $400 for your inspection, you should be up $2,000 before you even have to start paying for a Spectora. And pretty soon I'm going to stop talking about them until they start paying me. But until such time, Spectora is who you want to rock with. So let's real quick go through just scheduling and inspection, and a little bit about the scheduling and a lot of bit about the actually formulating the report. Does the realtor ask for copies of the report? Yes, Miss Riley. I can see your name now. So what typically happens is the well, it can happen a couple of different ways, but let's just say that your your customer and the realtor show up at the inspection. What I typically do is I talk to the customer because that's who hires you really. Like people get it twisted, and they think that um the buyer, the person that paid you for the service, It's the client. They're really the customer because they're the one that's paying you for the service. Your client is the realtor, basically a person that you have a relationship, a consulting type of situation going on. People don't talk about that. They use that wrong. But the person that's paying you for the service is your customer. So that's really who your loyalty lies with. And technically, you're not supposed to. That's their report, so you're not supposed to give it to anybody outside of them. What I typically do is ask them, do you want me to share it with your realtor? And in most cases, they do. And so that's how the realtor typically gets it. And it's actually right here, right? So let's just say Riley was my client, I mean, my customer. And so she's getting a residential home inspection. This is also where you could add any additional services that you are providing. And if I had the agent in my database, I could say, such and such agent, and then all of their information will pop up so that once I got done with the report and hit publish, I could choose, like if I include them, it'll automatically publish. So they'll get a copy of the inspection report as well. Oh, see. Let me go back here and see if it'll let me get to one. I got a couple of little, demo accounts, if you will, since they not paying me. Oh man. Okay. Let me see if it's gonna let me go. Hold up. Let me go to the other one. You should only. Yeah. See the realtors. I don't know if you guys saw on my IG a few weeks ago, I posted about that very thing because this is what happens. Let's just say I am a listing agent, right? And I have a client. We have our house up for sale. Find a buyer, um, go under contract. The buyer has the inspection, pays for the inspection, and um, uh, for whatever reason, they don't end up buying the house. The deal falls through or whatever, so they don't end up buying the house. What the listing agent will do is they'll reach out to the inspector that did the inspection for that buyer, and they'll ask them for a copy of the report so that they can give it to their client, so that their client cannot know what they said, and so that their client can try to give it to the next buyer, so the next buyer will say they don't need an inspection. And that's not how it's supposed to go. Like, again, it's just like, if you pay me for a consultation, a one-on-one consultation, and then I go and get a recording of the consultation to everybody on my page. It's like, hold up, like, I paid for that's mine, so um but at the same time, again, in most cases, the realtor needs to see the report. So it's just, again, setting the proper expectation with the client up front, in terms of asking them. And it's usually not a huge deal. But outside of that, I wouldn't be getting in the habit of giving any realtors my report. You gotta, in this business, everybody's out to get the inspector. Like, you gotta CYA, you gotta have your paperwork on deck. You gotta make sure that you're protecting your interests and doing things by the book so nobody can't hit you up. So this is the report here. This is how it starts out. You would have the main cover photo here, just some general information: who was present, if it's empty or vacant, the weather conditions at that time. So this is where cuz asked about it raining. So the reason why you may be wondering, like, why does it matter if I talk about the weather? Well, it's important because we have what are called limitations, right? So let's just say it was like raining so hard, thunder and lightning or whatever, where I couldn't do it and I tried to wait it out or whatever the case might be. I would need to notate in the roofing section that there's a limitation because due to the weather, I was not able to inspect the roof. that's why again it's important to reflect this general information in the report. And as you can see, you guys have heard me talk about the 10 major components of the inspection. They're all listed here. These templates are customizable, and this is what I mean by having your comments and everything already set up in here, so that it makes it easy, as you are going through to to do your report. For example, let's just okay, so we're under the roofing section. We're specifically talking about the roof drainage system. So I may include um the purpose of the drainage system, right? So this is, and then I could include a little blurb here and a link to, some sort of article or something like that that talks about the role that the gutters and the downspouts play in tandem in terms of dispelling water, repelling water away from the foundation of a house. Again, so most people know about gutters and stuff, but they may not know all of the ins and the outs of it. Again, same thing with any of these any of the components that you're talking about. You can do the same thing, link to whatever. As you can see here, links, you can add pictures. Let me see if I can add one to show you. Another thing that's important to use is arrows, right? So uh they already have where's that folder? Oh, right here. They already have where you can include arrows. You can make circles. So if we pull this up, I can, if I want to, I make a circle here, show an arrow to indicate whatever I'm trying to indicate. I could do save. I require my students to fill out a caption, because you'll see in the finished product of the report, if you don't include like what this is, sometimes it will be a person won't be able to recognize exactly what this is. So I would say front east side of roof. That's it. Boom. Just so when they look at it, they can, within the report, they can know exactly um, what I'm talking about. Okay. So again, you see up here in the top right, preview, publish. Once I'm done filling everything in, before I get to that, one more thing that I love about Spector is that it's foolproof, right? It won't let you continue until you've covered each section, right? So it won't show up as green. See how these are now turning green? The same thing with the sections. So until I've done everything within these sections, it won't show up green. So that lets me know I still got work to do in the roofing section. Once I've completed everything, then it shows up green. Boom, I'm good to go. I get to see how it goes. This is you could literally include your own video right there, just talking about your letting your customer know how they should read and navigate your inspection report, and then boom, you see how it ends up looking. See how the comment shows up there, so they know exactly what they're looking at, and that's how it would be for each section. If you need for whatever reason to download a PDF, you're able to do that. Spectora actually sends that to your client. So remember I talked about the link. They send the link where they would be able to view all of the digital stuff, but they also send um, the PDF as well. So um, this is, see, share with agent. It's just like a press of a button, and then I'm good to go. It's already been published to the client. So that inspection report, I've completed my service and I've turned in my product. It's all to the good. And I am on to the next. Okay. Um, what questions do you have? Do you see how you could and should write your report in about an hour? Yeah, home buyer is the only one really entitled to the inspection report for sure. Make sure I go subscribe to the Inspector Flow Show, the podcast that I started highlighting the new generation of home inspectors, minority-owned home inspectors, women, young people, telling our stories, sharing information and resources similar to uh, the Facebook group here that we got going. While you guys are typing in your questions, a lot of you have been reaching out to me about the beta group, and we're ready. So the first module is going to drop on Friday. It is going to be the roofing section. It's my plan to drop. I don't know if I drop them weekly or bi-weekly. I really want you guys to have the time to study. So that's one of the things about being in the beta group. Like, we can talk about it. I'm open to feedback about it. So if you are one of those people who are looking to get into the beta group, I'm about to drop the link. And what I actually did, for those of you, because I know y'all been kind of like waiting on me, for those of y'all that tap in tonight, I took off another 500 for you. So, but you got to tap in tonight. It expires at midnight, and I appreciate you all's patience. I'm working on like so many different things, and just trying to help, trying to find the best way to help, trying to find the best way to provide resources and all of that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you all's patience. I'm looking forward to this beta group. The curriculum was kind of like fun to break down into the smaller videos. Like I said, we still got uh, the handouts, the homework assignments. That's why I think you really kind of need 2 weeks to really read the chapter, go through all the material. Um, and then what I'm gonna start doing is these sessions in the Facebook group, I'll be answering questions for those of you who are in the beta group and have questions about the curriculum. So, um, oh, I don't. Can I leave the thing? I can't post the link in the chat, so I'll post it in the Facebook group here in a second. Again, if you want to tap in tonight, use the code beta. Took something extra off for you, just for your trouble. Yeah, you need your books. Definitely. I mean, you don't have to have it. I don't. I in the like in each module, I will tell you to read the chapter, um, and I would highly recommend you have the books. Um, but there's no hard requirement for me about it. Chad, why you don't already have your books, bruh? You supposed to been studying. Listen, if you're serious about becoming a home inspector, you need to buy the books. Whether you waiting on training from somewhere else to start, you trying to jump on with me or what, like, you need to buy the books, period, and start reading them. If you serious about this, you need to get started. Like, this is why I've been pushing so hard, because we about to go into busy season, and some of y'all can be ready for that. That in the spring, beginning of fall, y'all can start getting some money this year before the weather turn. So if you serious, like, you need to get them books, and you need to really tap in with the beta group so that you don't waste time trying to teach yourself and trying to figure it out, um, so that you can just learn and start getting to the back. Somebody said they got a pair, but they didn't click the link, so I don't know who they are. So I can't give you their name, but post it in the Facebook group. Somebody got a set of the books, but either you can get the hard copy books or you can get the ebooks. Um, you can get either one. When I read the book, it get overwhelming because I know. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. That's why. Like, listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. If I didn't feel like doing this was not like I'm doing inspector, I'm teaching live in inspector flow, and I put this together for y'all. Like, if I didn't think this was necessary, I wouldn't put all this on my plate. But it's like there's no way I can tell you to look into becoming a home inspector and leave you out there like with no sort of guidance, because it's just not. Don't get me started on that. We'd be here all night. But I definitely understand your pain, and that's why, like I say, I'm trying everything I can to be a support, to create an ecosystem where you can get supported, where you can get resources, where you can connect with people in your area. I've gotten 2 messages. Shout out to Sam. Samuel Hill and somebody else. I'm sorry because I forgot your name, but text me today. They passed their test. It's like that's why I'm doing this. That shit like really blessed me today. Just seeing and hearing of everyone's success. I think Samuel was out in Oklahoma. Like I ain't even like how many black people are there in Oklahoma? Now we got a black home inspector out there. So it's now the next person that want to get on in Oklahoma. Samuel can be, a resource and help. Like that's the whole goal. So yeah, to be real, I just been being cheap. I'm waiting on the beta to drop. Should have got him over here with a yeah, Chad. Like, yeah, bro. You you deserve better than that from yourself. Okay. So order them books. We get into it. Like when the joint drop on Friday, you want to be able to have that book because I built a curriculum around the NHIE test outline, not based around the book because the book don't cover the test outline, but you still are gonna need it for to be supplementary. We're serious, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all catch my vibe with that, but like this is serious for me. I'm investing a lot of time and energy, and I only wanna work with serious people who realize the opportunity, ready to invest in themselves, the time, the money, the energy that it takes to learn this and to start to build this and grow. Like that's really what I'm on. Uh, that's why people here is like make your introduction or you getting put out the group, bro. Like we not here, this not one of those scroll and just read and stuff. Like, no, we here to be studying together, learning, growing, and building together. The beta group is before you actually drop it. Yeah, so yeah, that's what it is. The beta group is before I actually drop it. But when I actually drop it, it would be double the price. And yeah, at what point, I can't answer you because you didn't click the link. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook so I can see. Anybody in the group that has passed willing to sell theirs. Somebody is in here talking about selling, but again, y'all didn't click the link so I can't see your name. So with that, I'm a bounce. About to go to the cigar shop and do what players do. Okay? Y'all be blessed. I'm gonna drop the link for the beta. So those of you that tap in, welcome. Look forward to building with you. And please make sure you make your introduction so you can remain in the group. And we'll drop the information about the next training sometime here soon. Okay? Peace, y'all. Be blessed.